The single most valuable skill of the next 2 decades isn't coding, and it definitely isn't crypto trading or dropshipping. It's writing. And in this video, I'm going to educate you on why now is an important inflection point in human history, how there has never been a better time to share your ideas, insights, and stories at scale, and why you need to start now because the world is changing and you don't want to get left behind. Let's start with a simple example. 2 people apply for a job. Both went to the same school. Both graduated with the same grades. Both are brand new to the workforce. But one of them applies with a traditional resume and the other doesn't have a resume but has 50,000 followers on X or LinkedIn or YouTube. Which person do you think is more likely to get the job? The answer is the second person, but not for the reason you might think. Before I tell you how the world has changed, there are 2 big ideas I need you to understand to set the stage. 20 years ago, the analog physical world was our primary reality, and the digital world was our secondary reality. Today, it's flipped. The digital world is becoming the primary reality, and the analog physical world is our secondary reality. That's big idea number 1. And if you want proof, just go hang out with your friends' kids for a day, and you'll see all the ways they care more about their digital life than their everyday real life. Big idea number 2. Followers matter less and less on the internet, which is interesting considering the example I opened this video with, but hear me out. There's an amazing South by Southwest talk by the CEO of Patreon, where he talks about how social algorithms have changed. The previous decade was all about how many followers you had, and the bigger your audience, the more power and influence you had on that platform. But the next decade won't be about followers at all, because these social algorithms have changed. When you scroll through your feed, you don't only see content from people you follow. In fact, you primarily see content from people you don't follow, because the platform is trying to show you things you're most likely to engage with. So let's go back to that little example. The reason the person with an audience on the internet is going to get the job isn't because of the number of followers they have. It's because of the library of content they've created. They are practicing in public. What every potential employer or client or customer wants to see is you doing the thing in the increasingly valuable digital world. And every single time, they are going to give the opportunity to the person doing the thing, already creating, already sharing, already thinking on their own, over the person who hasn't done the thing yet.
Yeah, but I got straight A's in college.
Who cares, right? Just to prove it to you, do you know where I went to college? Do you know what my grades were? Do you care? No, of course you don't. I have worked with some of the biggest companies in the world and made millions of dollars as a writer and ghostwriter, and not one time did anyone ask me where I went to school, what my grades were, or for a traditional resume. Which is why I opened this video saying the single most valuable skill of the next 2 decades is writing online. Because writing online is the new resume and opportunity flywheel. And if that isn't enough to make you wake up and realize you need to take action if you want to remain relevant in our increasingly digital first world, then here are 5 specific reasons why you should start writing online today, and the ways this simple habit will not only lead to exponentially more career defensibility, upward mobility, and even earning potential, but have a positive impact on other areas of your life as well. Reason number 1, if you can build a daily writing habit, you can build a daily anything habit. This is one of the biggest benefits we hear people talk about in our beginner writing program, Ship 30 for 30. They say this simple act of writing on a daily basis and keeping that promise to themselves has helped them build other positive habits like going to the gym, eating healthy, reducing screen time, even little things like flossing. When you practice anything on a daily basis, you aren't just practicing the thing, you're also practicing the habit of keeping positive habits. And writing is such a simple way to get this momentum started. Reason number 2, the more you write, the more you write. We have this saying in Ship 30, one of the biggest benefits of writing is the more you write, the more ideas you uncover. The more ideas you uncover, the more you write. The more you write, the more ideas you uncover, and on and on and on. This is what so many writers underestimate when they first begin committing to this daily practice of writing and publishing. They start the journey thinking, I only have a handful of things I want to say, only to realize once they get started, how many more things they have to say. And as they write those ideas, they clarify their old ideas, which gives them even more new ideas. So before you start writing, you think, I only have so much to say. But after you commit to writing on a consistent basis, you will think, I have too much to say. I have so many ideas, which is why those who write on the internet unlock all the most exciting, most lucrative opportunities, because they're living in an abundance of ideas. Reason number 3, writing online is how you scale yourself. This is a really big 0 to 1 unlock for most people. Think about how many times you repeat the same stories in your life. Think about all the coffee meetings you've had where you've shared the same handful of details over and over again. I work as a project manager. I like going on hikes. When I was in high school, I was on the swim team. same. Think about how many times you've gotten on the phone with someone, introduced yourself, and had to give the other person that same 30-second background on who you are and what you do. Every one of these types of situations is you scaling yourself manually. It's not very efficient. But when you write and publish online, what you're doing is you're taking all of those stories, all of those insights, all of those personal details, and now you're scaling them. So now you can publish it on the internet, and anyone who reads it now knows that thing about you. You're scaling yourself automatically. For example, if you've been following my writing for a while, you probably know a few things about me. You know I'm the co-founder of Ship 30 for 30 and Premium Ghostwriting Academy. You know when I was 17 years old, I was one of the highest ranked World of Warcraft players in North America. You know that the first dollar I made on the internet was by selling a fitness ebook called Skinny to Shredded, which means if you and I met for coffee one day, I wouldn't need to tell you any of these things. We could just skip all the background stuff and immediately elevate the conversation. So now multiply this by every new person you meet and every conversation you have for the next 30 years. This is how you scale yourself on the internet. Reason number 4, instead of chasing down opportunities start to come to you. So a funny thing happens when you commit to writing and publishing online. People reach out to you. If you start writing about the future of marketing, companies and entrepreneurs and other marketers are going to reach out to you because you're the one who had the courage to put yourself out there. If you start writing about life coaching, other aspiring or current life coaches, people looking to hire a life coach, are going to reach out to you. Why? Because you're the one who spoke to their interests. Do not underestimate the law of attraction on the internet. The vast majority of people don't create anything. They consume, they read, they lurk, they listen, but they do not take it upon themselves to put their thoughts, insights, and stories into words and publish them online, which means the simple fact that you choose to participate means you're already in the top 1%. So think about that for a second. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to be a genius. Quite literally, the only thing that moves you from the 99% into the 1% is your choosing to share something. You go from being a consumer to a creator. And from there, your opportunity flywheel begins to spin. Reason number 5, you will connect with people you never otherwise would have had access to. Here's a little secret. Want to know how to connect with leaders in your industry? You become a leader yourself, and it's not as hard as you think. Once you start writing and publishing online, you are immediately perceived differently by your peers. You have transformed from being a consumer to being a creator, and creators value spending time with other creators. Jesse here is a great example. He was one of our alumni out of Ship 30 for 30. All he did was start writing online, exploring different topics, and eventually learning that what readers found most helpful were his insights and perspectives on the topic of ADHD. Now, he has over 100,000 followers on X, has written a book on ADHD, and has built an entire audience and suite of products around the topic of ADHD. He is perceived to be an expert on the topic, even though he never called himself one. He was just sharing his insights and perspectives on the internet. So if you want to unlock these types of opportunities, if you want to connect with other creators and other industry leaders, all you have to do is start writing online. And if you don't know where to start or want to make sure you're approaching it the right way from the beginning, then come hop aboard Ship 30 for 30. We'd love to have you. The world is changing. Actually, it's already changed. And all of the most exciting, most lucrative opportunities of the future are going to go to people creating and sharing in public in the digital world first.